Hey everyone, it's Emily, and today I wanted to share some of my latest JRPG merchandise finds that I imported from Japan. And I wanted to take the time to go into some details about the various methods that you can import from Japan, rather than just going on eBay and frankly, just overpaying for items on there. So I have 3 different methods that I used, and they're kind of pros and cons to all of them. So as I kind of share some of my latest pickups, I will get a little bit into the details about when you might want to consider one service over the other. So I'm going to start off with this package, and this is one that I used a proxy service for. So I often like to opt for a proxy service for a few different reasons. One being, as you'll see here, I like to pre-order a lot of merchandise that are on kind of obscure stores. As you will soon see, I pre-ordered a lot of merchandise from the official Falcom merchandise store, as well as a few other associated stores that carry officially licensed products. So going for a proxy service is often either the only option that you have to obtain some of this merchandise, especially on a pre-order basis, or sometimes it's just a lot cheaper to go with a proxy service so that an item can ship to their warehouse and you can consolidate it with some other items you might be interested in and then ship it to your house overseas. So the first item I'm going to share is one that I did pre-order from the Falcom store, and it came in this box. And it is the character mug for the Trails series. And I just really love the little chibi art, so that's why I just couldn't resist buying this mug from the Falcom store. So sometimes buying from the official Japanese store for some of these video game companies, they'll also include a few extras. So in this case, they were running a campaign where you would get a free can button. So this is the one that I got in with my mug. And they also included this little advertisement for Trails Through Daybreak that's coming out on the Switch in Japan. So it's always kind of neat to get those little surprises when you purchase from these official stores. Some other things that I pre-ordered actually earlier this year that also arrived around the same time as that mug were some desk mats. So both these desk mats are officially licensed from Falcom. That's why they're able to use their designs. So I have the 40th anniversary for Falcom. And you can see the size of the desk mat. The print quality turned out rather nice for this, and I think this particular design may still be available on this website. I'll link it down in the description for anyone who's also interested in Falcom related desk mats. But this next one, unfortunately, is no longer available because I think it was tied to the New Year season. And so this is the official design for the Trails of Cold Steel New Year's anniversary celebration. And I just couldn't resist this because of everyone's costumes and just the vivid color choice. And I think this one turned out rather nice as well. Though I will note that some of the hands look a little bit off, so I think that might have to do more with the original artwork than maybe the printing itself for these desk mats. So something just to keep in mind if you're also interested in these character prints. So those were some examples of where a proxy service could come in handy if you wanted to order from an official Japanese website that doesn't always ship overseas. This next item is another pre-order that I could have gone with the international or the global website to pre-order from, but I ended up pre-ordering from the Japanese website because after the yen to USD conversion, it was a lot cheaper, and I kind of knew that I would probably start to build some sort of haul together, so consolidating a package of multiple items often leads to cheaper shipping costs overall. This next item is one that I'm so excited to finally hold in my hands, and it is the Super Groupies collaboration with Falcom to create the Trails in the Sky pocket watch. Previously on the channel, I've shared the Estelle watch that was a collaboration between Trails and Super Groupies, and I was so impressed with that watch that when they had this pocket watch available for pre-order last year, I knew I had to get it, and I'm so happy I did. I think they did a great job with the design, and everything just looks so pretty. And this is definitely going to be a display piece for me, so it's going to go, I think, nice on the shelf. And it's very appropriate to, I think, own this, given my channel's name is a play on the Orbment technology that's in the Trails games. So I'm just so happy to finally own this, and it's definitely going to have a nice place on my shelves now. Now, the other reason why I really like to use proxy services as my importing method from Japan is it allows you access to various flea market websites like Mercari JP. And there's a ton of sellers on there that offer a lot of sometimes new but often used items for really great prices, and you can often find a lot of very hard to find items for reasonable prices on there. So one of the items that I ended up buying this time around was an OST from Tokyo Xanadu, and I know that the Switch version that's coming out this summer from Access will also include the same exact OST, but I believe they are not using this digipack packaging, which I think looks a lot better than the plastic packaging that they've shown in the preview photos. And I also picked this up for 600 yen, which if you've been following the current exchange rate of the Japanese yen to USD, is dirt cheap. And so one of the reasons why I went with Nyokyo as my proxy service of choice this time around was they've been advertising a lot of different coupons to discount purchases from Mercari JP, because often how proxy services work is you request them to buy an item for you, and they'll do so with a small commission fee. So if I recall correctly, I think I used one of those coupons to waive the fee when ordering the soundtrack, so that I got this for like around $3.50 or $4 or whatever the exchange rate was at the time. So I think that purchase definitely made sense for me because I did want to get the full soundtrack for Tokyo Xanadu, and I'm probably not going to pre-order now the Switch version and try to get that when it's discounted from not the Access store. And the last few things that I picked up from Mercari JP using a proxy service were some art books from some of my favorite franchises. So this is the only non-Falcom related thing in this particular package, and that is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 art book. So I have plans to pick up all of these Xenoblade Chronicles art books at some point, and I've noticed with these artworks that they tend to be a little bit more in depth of the various character models and the landscapes and some other kind of cool things that are not available in the limited edition art books that come out when the game releases. So along with additional content when it comes to the character models and various landscapes and whatnot, this also includes the DLC artwork. So there are various drawings of the characters from Torn of the Golden Country, as well as some of the areas they explored and whatnot. So this is definitely a art book that I'm really happy to have now in my collection. And so like with the Xenoblade art books, I also have plans to try to get all of the Trails related art books as well at some point. And one of the best ways to do this is to find them for secondhand and also in bundles. And I found that it's a lot more cost effective going that way rather than trying to buy them individually off of various websites brand new. So I was able to get this bundle of 4 different various Trails art books. As you can see here, this is the Trails into Reverie. One of the early Trails of Cold Steel. I think it's the second one. I also picked up some of the more recent entries in the Trails series that's going to get localized soon. So the Trails to Daybreak. And Crimson Sin. So I definitely have plans to pick up more of these because I just love the Trails artwork, and as you can see behind me, I am a bit of a Trails fanatic, and you'll see a few more items in the other couple boxes that will attest to that as well. And I just get so much enjoyment out of these art books because it's really cool to see the process that a lot of these favorite characters, how the design concepts kind of were fleshed out down the line, or if any revisions were made to some of the character designs. It's just really cool to see kind of more of a behind the scenes inside look to how these games were developed. So that was everything from the first package, and I'm now going to move on to the second. And this time around, I ordered a figure from Amazon JP. So I've been ordering from Amazon Japan since, I don't know, maybe back in 2015 when I first discovered that Japan had their own Amazon that would ship within 1 to 2 days to you, and you didn't have to have Prime shipping or anything. And I've really enjoyed their services. They often offer really competitive DHL prices, and if you kind of bulk bought and bought a lot of things and consolidated into a single package, it often ended up being super cheap in shipping overall. But lately I've noticed that the DHL prices and their kind of more economy prices that they've been offering has been a bit more expensive than it was in the past. So while I do still recommend ordering from Amazon Japan just because of how easy they make it, and also if you have to pay customs duties if you live outside the US, I know in Canada and a lot of European countries this is the case, Amazon Japan will tell you upfront how much to expect to pay in custom fees. So I think that's a nice perk too to consider. But I will say that sometimes the prices on Amazon Japan, both for just the items that they're selling, as well as sometimes the shipping prices, are a little bit more expensive than some other alternatives. And I've noticed, especially with figures, while I haven't had this happen to me before, I've heard some people having their figures canceled last minute that they pre-ordered well in advance. And I guess Amazon Japan just didn't have enough stock, and so they ended up canceling their order. So that's something to be also wary of, especially if you think whatever figure you're pre-ordering might not be as common on the secondary market or after it comes out. So I will, again, kind of recommend Amazon Japan with caution. So this particular item was one that I pre-ordered with another item that came out earlier in the year. So one of the nice other things about Amazon Japan is that they won't wait and hold on to your items and ship them out once everything arrives to their warehouse. Instead, they'll ship out any items that you pre-order in the same order and ship them out once they release. And so that's why this figure ended up being a little bit cheaper than ordering her off individually from some of the other websites like AmiAmi or Ninden Games or some other ones that are very popular for figure collectors. So overall, they don't package it as securely as, say, AmiAmi does with a lot of the paper, but that does cut down, I think, costs. And honestly, I don't really care if the box gets a little bit bent. I haven't really had this issue yet, but I've heard from other people that their boxes getting a little bit bent because of the lack of protection. But here is one I ordered, and this is Emma from Trails of Cold Steel. So Emma's design, I think, turned out great. I was a little bit worried about her arm and staff since the height of her figure is almost double of all the other Trails figures I have right now. But thankfully she's given two different hand pieces that allows you to display the staff either straight up at a little bit of a taller height, or one that's a little bit more relaxed, and one that's not quite as tall as the initial promo photos had shown. Part of me is a little bit kicking myself for not ordering her off of Ninden Games with her exclusive Kotobukiya faceplate that included her hat along with her glasses. That was a very cute look on Emma. But often trying to get those bonus things from the various other retailers tends to be a lot more expensive than just buying her directly off of Amazon Japan, especially if you group her with another figure or two to help reduce the cost overall. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how I received her as well as the price I paid, and I think she looks fantastic on my Trails shelf. And right now I have two other figures that are pre-ordered off of Amazon Japan. I have the Fire Emblem Corrin figure as well as the Trails Tio figure, and those should be coming out by the end of May and I think July for Corrin. So I'm really excited whenever those release, and I'll definitely be sharing them with you once they come in. Now, last but not least is the other shipping method that I use to order various items from Japan. And I think this is a rather underrated option because a lot of people don't talk about this, especially their free shipping campaigns that they seem to be doing every other week now, which frankly I think is just an insane deal, and I don't really know how they do it. But I will first share what items I decided to pick up from Surugaya. So this is a particular Japanese secondary store, and they also offer some pre-orders, and I've been thinking of pre-ordering a figure from them during one of their free shipping campaigns. So I'm still kind of debating on that, or just wait for her to come in and try to pick her up on the secondary market. Regardless, I'm really excited to share some of the goodies that I picked up. So this is how they package it. They tend to not use any bubble wrap or anything, but everything arrived very safely. And this was shipped through EMS, again for free, which I can't believe that they waived, because EMS shipping from Japan to the US right now is insane. But everything is neatly packed in here. Very similar to how Amazon Japan sometimes packages, using this plastic to kind of hold everything down onto this piece of cardboard. So I did order these items during one of their free shipping campaigns, and I tried not to go too crazy and have everything under $100. And thankfully I didn't go over my budget, which is something you could easily do whenever you find a lot of these Japanese items just for super cheap. So to stick with the Falcom and Trails theme that these other boxes sort of had, I ended up ordering the box set for the EVO version of Trails from Zero. And this was really cheap. I'll put prices up somewhere. But I ordered this mostly because I adore the crossbow duology. And I thought some of the items that were included in here were just a little too good to pass up. So the main thing I wanted to get from this box set was this Nendoroid Petite figure. So to avoid spoilers, I won't get too much into who this character is, but she is one of the prominent characters in the Trails franchise. But it was really cool how Falcom was releasing a lot of these Nendoroid Petite figures because I do find them rather cute. And I wanted to have her next to some of the other ones that I've acquired. And one of the other main reasons why I wanted to go with this box set was it came with this PS Vita pouch. So I just couldn't resist getting this pouch of one of my favorite franchises and arcs from the Trails series. Now I knew ahead of time this box set didn't come with the game itself, which is fine because I already own the localized versions, but it does come with this CD as well as a DVD, and both of them are sealed and unused, so I'm very curious what's actually on these. And so this box also came with this Mishi cleaning cloth, but for what I paid, which was very minimal, I thought this was just a little bit too cool to pass up. Another thing that you can often find on Surugaya are what are called dojins, and these are fan-made photo books. And there's this one particular artist I really enjoy from the Xenoblade franchise, and I saw one of her art books there that I didn't have, and it was for a great price, so I figured now was the time to pick it up. And it was of this catalog. So Nia is one of my favorite characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I just couldn't resist picking up this little mini photo book of various fan art of her. Both from this artist that I just mentioned, and there's some guest artists here featured in the book as well, which I thought was kind of cool. So you may have noticed that I haven't picked up any games yet, and I think using these various methods, both Amazon Japan, Surugaya, and a proxy service is a great way to import Japanese games that include English. And it's sometimes even cheaper going this route than going through, say, PlayAsia or eBay. So one of the games that I decided to pick up for this haul, because I'm on a low buy when it comes to games right now, and so I just kind of restricted myself to just one, is the visual novel that's available in English on the PS5 from Japan. This game is also available on the Switch, but unfortunately there isn't any English on the cards as of yet, so I thought I might as well pick this up for a really good price on the PS5 right now, since it's one that I've been really interested in. And I'm probably not going to say the name of this correctly, but it is Nausea. And when I ordered this, I didn't realize it would come with this bonus cover art, as well as a dog tag. So this must have been some sort of pre-order bonus. And sometimes you just have these surprises when you order these things from Surugaya or sometimes some of the other secondhand websites. So they don't always tell you everything that's included, but it's often better than advertised in my experience. So this is the game itself, and I didn't realize it was going to be completely brand new. It still has its plastic on it. And so there's not just one, but two alternative cover arts that were included in this bundle. And a closer look at that dog tag there. So this was a nice surprise that not only did I get a brand new game, but all the pre-order bonuses that must have been available at some retailer in Japan. And it was all for a rather affordable price that I think was cheaper than what PlayAsia had it listed for. Now this next thing is one that I kind of impulse bought, but it's one I've been kind of eyeing for a while. And it's a lot larger than I expected. I thought this art board here was going to be the traditional shishiki boards that are like a quarter of the size. But this is of Fire Emblem Anna. And Anna is one of my favorite characters in Fire Emblem. And I believe this is one of the gift rewards if you bought Fire Emblem merch for some sort of celebration or event sort of thing. Back when I think Awakening was out or something related to Fire Emblem Awakening. So this was really cool to find, and I'll have to find somewhere on the shelf to display her. Then last but not least, I was looking through some of the plushes on Surugaya of my favorite franchises, and I stumbled upon this one for a really good price. And this is of a franchise I don't own a lot of things of right now, though I'm tempted to get more of, and so I thought it might as well start with this little plush. So this is a Shadow from the Kingdom Hearts series, and I think he's adorable. And I was a little bit weary ordering a used plush, though my experience buying used items from Suragaya has been really great, and I figured he would be in good condition, which he is, and I think he'll look great up with my other plushes on the top of my shelf. So those are all the things that I picked up from Suragaya, and I think Suragaya is great, especially if you take advantage of their free shipping offer that they have. I want to say recently it's been every other week or sometimes weekly. I've been seeing it advertised, and they don't really advertise it anywhere else except I think on their website, so you have to log in and see if they're doing some sort of free shipping campaign at the moment. But it's really a great way to get a lot of obscure and old merchandise, especially from various popular JRPG franchises, and of course other sort of Japanese related merch that you could think of from various CDs, novels, games. So I really do encourage people to look on there. Sometimes their prices are not the most competitive. You might see cheaper prices on Mercari, but you just have to kind of weigh whether or not the free shipping offer makes it a bit of a better purchase to go with them rather than some other alternative secondary website. The other kind of downside from Suragaya is they don't show pictures of the exact thing they'll send you. It's often they'll just use stock photos, but in my experience, a lot of the items, even if they're kind of advertised as like junk or used or worn or something, or there's some other phrases that when you see the English translations from Japanese, it makes it sound not so appealing, but once you get it, really you can't find any sort of flaw. So more often than not, a lot of these items are well taken care of, and when they are sent to you, should be in good condition. And I have actually ordered a figure from them in the past. It was Tharja from Fire Emblem Awakening, and they had her super discounted without any sort of photo proof, but they mentioned that there was this big scratch on the back of her outfit. And kind of knowing how expensive Tharja is on the secondary market, I really couldn't pass her up for the price they had her as, even though it was advertised that she was a little bit broken and she also didn't come with the box. But I was really happy I ended up buying her because I think she looks great on my shelf, and you really don't notice the scratch because it is on the back side, which is turned away from how she's displayed on my shelf. I think Suragaya is a really great underused option, and I'm curious how long they're going to continue these free shipping campaigns because they must be losing money when they use EMS, or I've also heard other people have DHL shipping for a lot of items that were not that expensive. So I definitely recommend probably taking advantage of this offer sooner rather than later in case they stop these free shipping campaigns. And also definitely exercise caution when it comes to kind of opening this world of proxy shopping, because I've noticed over the years I've just been more attuned and aware of some of the items that are out there, and so it's definitely kind of amped up some of my consumption when it comes to purchasing, especially at cheap prices. So something to consider, especially if you're trying to minimize your spending or also just not accumulate a lot of stuff. But I hope you guys found this haul video informative as well as entertaining. I have some more videos in the pipeline right now, so hope you all look forward to that. And until next time, bye guys.